guys, I'm Kendall and this is Everyday Vintage. So I personally love vintage hairstyles. I do a 1940s look for my everyday, and I also do them for all my dancing because I dance collegiate shag, which is a 1940s style of swing dancing. So I love 1940s, and I want you to have an easier time doing vintage hairstyles no matter who is posting a tutorial. So these practice methods, both a daytime and a nighttime practice method, are going to be great for getting you to do whichever style you find online. I'd say that this will be relevant to about 85% of the 1940s, 50s, and 60s styles that you find. So let's get started. So for your nighttime look, you can start this after taking a shower. You're just going to take a little bit of mousse and run it through your roots, and then a little bit more for the ends of your hair. Now, this isn't a requirement, but it will help kind of keep that curl in the next day if you want to have nice ringlets in the morning. Now, I do suggest kind of putting your head down in order to dry your hair. This will kind of give you a little bit more volume, and it's a lot less effort later when it comes to ratting your hair. Now you're just going to brush through everything really well, and we'll get started. Alright you guys, so this is our nighttime look. I'm in my 1960s adorable little night coat slash robe, and we're going to be going to a practice mode. So the best part about this is you can sleep in it and it doesn't have to look good, and mine never looked good, so now I actually have to try for you guys. So this is a great way to practice doing pin curls. It's great before bed. It works with a ton of different hairstyles. So just do this for like, I'm not gonna lie, like a month. Just do it like 3 times a week before you go to bed. You'll have curly hair in the morning. The better you get, the better your curls will look in the morning. And you'll be really good at that working hairstyles all around the back without a mirror. And you'll be super good at doing victory rolls and any kind of hairstyle that involves pin curls, which there are tons. So again, we're not going for beautiful. Pick your natural part. And you're just gonna take about a quarter's worth of hair is fine if you want really tiny curls. But for practicing, let's do something a little bit bigger. I feel like I can even take even more. All right. Normally, I don't even brush through per thing, but I'll make it nice and smooth for you guys. Now, this is going to be ideal for hair that is not layered. Layered hair is a lot more difficult to deal with for any kind of hairstyles, besides just having it down and layered. So you're just going to pinch it between your fingers, and you're going to place your left finger here, your left hand finger, and you're just going to be rolling up. Then you're going to take your finger out and finish that roll. And right now we're not worrying about placement because this is all about the technique. So let's try that again. See if I can get to an angle where you can really see what I'm doing. So you're going to pinch with your right hand. And you're going to place your finger, and then you're just going to kind of like fold it up and place the hair here. So ideally, when you're moving through the motions, you want to move through it. You don't want to push this much pressure on it because it won't slip inside. Your fingers will get locked up pretty darn quick. So you're going to be going through the motions of this place and move. And it's going to take a minute to really get it. So you're just going to go, I'm not used to doing this with my hair wet, go up. And see how my fingers are both in here and they're rolling this upwards? And then you're just going to take your fingers out and finish that by hand. All right. Again, this is what you're doing for your whole head. So if you're having a hard time, good. This is practice for your entire head. All right, so we're pinching. Try to go towards the end, placing, and then you're just going to roll. See, it's really hard to pause. You have to really go through the motion. So roll. And I'm just rolling that all the way up. You can keep rolling, but if you want it cleaner, like when you actually do a hairstyle, I usually do about 5 inches away from my scalp. You do 3. And then you can place it better and make it cleaner. Because if you go all the way up, which is totally fine for your night look, if I was gonna rush through it really quickly, because I usually do, then you can just roll all the way to your scalp. So let's do the entire head, and I will slow it down for when we're towards the back so you can kind of see that I'm not looking. All right, so when you get to the back, the key really isn't to hold it out straight behind you. You can bring it towards you here. And the trick is to start exactly like you're doing. Just finish a little bit sooner so you still have a good amount of space. Then put your arms behind you and finish rolling it and place again. So it's less stress on your hands being behind your head for that long. And you have more control, but you can still get it all the way back there. And that's important for when you're doing actual vintage hairstyles too, and it's supposed to look nice. You can still do it up right here, and then once you get closer to the end, finish that roll directly in front of where you want to place it. Now, you're going to want to go through and kind of feel for any that feel like they might come out and add an extra bobby pin or two. We just want it to last through the night. We don't want to add too many bobby pins because we don't want the ridges from our bobby pins. And voila! You can sleep on this without discomfort, and you just practice doing a ton of pin curls, and you're going to have curly hair in the morning. The smoother, or the more often you do it, the smoother your curls will be in the morning. So again, practice makes perfect. If you shower in the morning, then you really don't have to worry because you'll just shower out your curls. If you don't, then, well, you'll start getting good fast. All right, so this is what the full thing will look like before you go to bed. Voila. So I hope you enjoyed that little night look, If you are having friends over still for some wine in your robe, then you can always put a headscarf over this. Otherwise, you can just look cute. I think that there are two things that can make any hairdo look vintage. I think that these two things can give you creativity. I think that they can help you match anything that you find online. You can do them for updos or half updos, so partial down. And I think you're gonna really enjoy them once you master them. So let's start with this particular day look, which is a practice day look. And it's going to be very similar to the night look, but instead of having pin curls everywhere, you're going to have pin curls hidden behind your scarf, and you're going to have a nice bang. So we're going to get started on that bang first. So brush out your hair. So I started doing 1940s hairstyles almost every day, and after about 2 months of doing this, I realized a lot of breakage from ratting my hair. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have all this vintage clothing now, and I love these vintage hairstyles. What am I gonna do? Because it's actually ruining my hair. So I decided to start collecting the hair from my brush. So you literally just pull the hair out of your brush and you keep it. And it took me about a month to get a good amount to be able to start using it for my hairdos. And now I don't have a ton, but I have about this much. They're ugly, but they're clean hair from your brush, and they're great because now I haven't experienced any breakage when I do my victory rolls or any kind of bang for my 1940s looks. So I'm going to show you my technique for that, and then we're going to go onto the back and do your day look. So now you're just going to part a section off of your hair, and we're going to take your brush and just back comb this a little bit. So you're not ratting your hair enough to damage it, it's just giving it a little bit of texture, which will help with our look. So now we're going to take some of your hair rats and we're going to just pin them in place right up against that part line. This is your second part line. And I'm going to pin two, so one's a little farther back, so we have that kind of a nice even bump. And then you're just going to move your hair back in place over it and lightly brush out the fuzziness. Now, of course, if you haven't had time to collect any of your hair yet for the hair rats, then go ahead and just back comb it more and never be afraid to kind of push it around into shape before hairspraying it. Now we're going to start with your bang. There are two options I'm going to go through with you right now. One is going to be less hair, and it's going to be just a front piece. If you weren't with me on the nighttime look, then you might want to go back in order to see a slow-mo kind of version of this style of pin curling. And if not, you can just try to learn it from here. Go ahead and pin that in place and see if you like it. Now I often like to kind of pull from the back farther. I feel like it has a cleaner look because I also cover it with more hair afterwards. So this next bang is more of a two-step process. So we're just going to roll that pin curl up just like we were doing in the nighttime look and finish that roll by hand rolling it. Never forget that your hair is very moldable. Don't be afraid to push it around and kind of get it into the place you want. Now don't worry too much if this isn't perfectly clean on the back because we're going to be kind of covering part of it with the next side piece. So I'm just throwing a few bobby pins kind of in the center, and then I'm going to hairspray it if I'm happy with it. I'm always kind of molding and puffing and playing with my hair because again it's super moldable. So now we're going to be taking a section off the side, kind of like that same part but going down. And we're just going to back comb this just a little bit And then our next hair rat is going to actually be placed in a similar position. It's a little weird going down, but just pull it back and kind of place that hair rat right there. Pin it in place. And then you're just going to be pulling back your hair to hide it. I kind of brush up and back a little bit, and then I pull it above my top fluffy part. Oh yes, just like that. So for this pin curl, it's the same style pin curl. You're just going to kind of keep your hair in the direction over your head while making it in order to make sure your hair doesn't move. And then just pin it in place. So right now, I've just done one side so far, and I kind of always just make it up as I go because you can do anything with these pin curls. Once you have mastered pin curls and back combing and you have your little mini rats that match your hair color, you can really do any cute little style. And obviously you could leave your hair down and keep this, or you can do what we're gonna do today, which is practice on the back. So let's get the other side done. So for this next side, we're doing the exact same thing. We're just making a part, back combing it, pinning in a hair rat, and then remembering to brush in the direction that we want it to lay, which in this case is kind of up and back. Now, go ahead and take a bobby pin and just pin that hair in place, because this side is always a little difficult for getting that pin curl in. So now make the pin curl, and as you're placing it, you can take out that extra bobby pin so it's no longer there, and then use that same bobby pin to just secure that pin curl. Now, since I've been doing this for a while, sometimes my little hacks that used to work don't work for me anymore. So in this scenario, I took it out and just did it without the bobby pin placeholder. Either one can work. It's just kind of personal preference as you continue to do it. So this is without a bobby pin placeholder and with just trying to work in the pin curl in the direction my hair was going. And voila! Now just a little bit of hairspray. Alright, now for the fun part, which is just doing a ton of pin curls in the back. Now, if you want this to look good and you do not want to use a headscarf, that's completely up to you. I am going to just be going for it because the purpose of this is to make you comfortable with pin curls, not for it to look pretty. So I wanted to focus on the front, getting something that, you know, looks really nice even with a headscarf. You can't see anything in the back. So now we're gonna go to the back and we're just gonna put as many pin curls as we can. Ready? Alright, so if you need a slower breakdown of these pin curls, remember I really broke it down in the nighttime look, which is the same style pin curl, and it's at the very beginning of the nighttime look. So go ahead and travel back to that one if you need a breakdown of these pin curls. Otherwise, have fun and pin curl the heck out of your hair. Alright, so it doesn't matter what the back of your head looks like. All that matters is that you practice pin curls the way we just did them. You're going to take a 1940 scarf or whatever scarf you have laying around, and you're going to just kind of make it so one point's longer than the other. Turn it around. I'm sure you've done this before, but just in case you haven't, place it on top of your head, trying to get the back all the way towards the back, and then just lift. Now, since you have a bang that you want to see, just gonna make sure that you'll be able to kind of move it around there. So let's see. Now we're going to take this little flap, stuff it in there, take these in there, and move that. And take 2 bobby pins, just one on each side. If you're wearing a 1940 scarf, be careful not to puncture the fabric because they are very fragile. But I'm not super sweet to mine. I still use them as if they're brand new. Alright. And there you have it. You have a day look. No one can see what the back of your hair looks like. Good luck with your practicing. Thanks so much for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed these practice methods. Stay tuned and subscribe for more vintage hairstyles, vintage restorations, and vintage dancing.